Thanks for coming out, man. This is nice. I'm looking forward to doing this show for you. I've been feeling a bit disappointed ahead of it. Basically, the other day, I got my hair cut, and when the bloke asked me what I wanted, I just can't remember showing him a picture of a Benedictine monk. He finished up, and I was like, oh, fuck. When the wind gets at it, it looks like a barcode. This is the start of the show, and yeah, you're gonna love it, unless you're that crowd from Scunthorpe, in which case then why have you come again? Hey up, my name is Adam Flood, that's my real name, as well as being the plot of the book of Genesis. Yeah, oh, I've got this little device that makes me sound fun. Do you wanna have a go, pal? I'm singing. Oh, it doesn't work for everyone. Yeah, it cost me £350. Oh, I should have just sat down and written a normal joke. Yeah, yeah. The start of the show's about to drop any minute now. The start of the show's about to drop any minute now. I said the start of the show's about to drop any minute now, 'cause this is the start of the show. It's not quite the start yet. Now it's the start. I am fucked. Yes, everyone, are we good? How are we doing? Look at this, here we are. London, Hackney, the home of gentrification. Let's have it where ankles roam freely. Yes, where hats are rolled high. We've got one of the representatives in the booth. Is he a graphic designer? Is he a fisherman? He will tell us in the break. Well, I'm not from round here. I come from a place called Stoke-on-Trent. Oh, some fans of a shithole. I like coming from a shithole. It's good stuff. You move anywhere else, big upgrade. I'm rocking up in Milton Keynes like... La-di-da. I love me a roundabout. I'm from a small town, weird vibe, you know. We've only got one shop in that town, and that shop is called Spend and Save. Two concepts entirely at odds for a retail proposition. Lots of weird names in that town. It's a bit like the only pub we've got. It's 8 tankards in the long drive home with a toddler in the back. Sort of town, I don't know if you might live in these sort of towns where there's a lot of weird people who are there. They've got homes, but they just don't ever seem to be in them. They're just stood around. Miscellaneous bags in their hand. You know, and we call them all fun stuff in my town. We give them nicknames. We've got Smelly Man, Smelly Woman, Captain Fishbeard, Tommy Portall, Nutty Butty, Badass, Ultraviolet Pilot, Smoky Smoky Man, Captain Fishbeard once again. And then on my mum's side, I've left there, you know, I've reinvented myself. But people don't like it when you go back to your hometown when you've done that. They're like, oh, what? You think you're better than us, do you? Yeah. For someone who's worse than me, I'm proud you figured that out. My friends, right, they say that I am no longer a Clayhead. And that's what they call people in Stoke-on-Trent, right? Because Stoke used to be the beating heart of the pottery industry. It's now more the slipped disc of the Mecca Bingo chain, to be honest. It's not good there, you know. And I've changed in a lot of ways, fair enough. I remember when one of my mates realised we didn't sound the same anymore. He was gutted, right? He looked me right in the eyes and he said, "You've bloody changed, and I'll flipping out, and you loud cacking, you kecky boy, when I tell you flipping out, you bastard, how you bloody bastard, you bloody bastard, how you flipping out, bastard, you bloody and you flipping, you bastard, how you bloody you, and you see you flipping out, you bastard, how you see you flipping out, bastard, you flipping out, you bastard, you flipping out, you, which is a fair point. I don't live there anymore. I live here in London. Yeah. They're over it, yeah. Like, I moved here, it's all right, innit? You know, compared to the Midlands and that, I moved here, you know, comparatively, you know, the streets are paved, which is great. I like a lot of things about London. I like the sounds of London. For me, right now, I like the sound of rebellion in London. I think right now that sounds a little like this. Yeah, it's a kid on a stolen Lime bike. Yeah. They're coming for your Uber. They're paired up with the black cabbies. They hate the gig economy. They're taking them down. I moved here for the opportunities. I've got no idea where they keep them, to be honest. I think they might be keeping them in the castle with the king. King Charles. He's not been very well, has he? I hope he's all right. I really do. But I wouldn't mind an extra bank holiday. Every pancreatic lining, you know. Do you know what? It would be good if we get a new king, because we get another crack at the coronation dish, right? Because the coronation dish used to be nice when the king was in. We used to have the what was it? The coronation chicken. Oh, what a lovely dish. I like that. I'll have that every day, you know. Influenced by India, influenced by the empire, which turns out is bad. So when they created a new one, they couldn't have anything delicious in there. No. You had to have something from here. Coronation quiche. That is this. What eggy fart business is that? I don't want to eat that. I can't believe that's the only options we've got. Either disgusting food or racism. I put a gun to my head, but like, you know, I don't know about you, but I'd rather black up than eat a quiche. And I don't want to do that. Yeah, man. I've been living here for a little while, and I've been living with basically some strangers. That's what we do. We live in London. You live with people you don't know. You know, they're obsessed with technology. These boys, they love it, right? They got a Fitbit on every single part of their body. Oh, what is me? Tell me what I am. What is inside me? What is in my heart? What is in my balls? Like, they're obsessed with stuff. They're like, Adam, do you like our new Dyson vacuum? No. I don't want a Hoover that looks like it's from the future. I want a Hoover that looks like... Henry, look, I don't have a dog. When I come home, I want to be greeted. Unconditionally. And yes, when you use the Henry, inexplicably your entire house smells like sick. But he does it with a little smile on his face. Got this really fancy microwave. I hate it, man, because I know every time I come across a new microwave, I'm gonna have to spend the next 5 hours learning how to use this thing, because there isn't one microwave that works the same as any other microwave. Every single one of them appears to be from some parallel universe. What the hell is this? It's like some weird symbol on there. There's like a chicken on top of a mountain with a snowflake through it. Is this from the Zodiac? Are these hieroglyphs? Some weird dial like I'm trying to crack into a safe. The security on this thing. I'm just trying to reheat a chicken pie. Why have I got to put in the chicken mother's maiden name? I've been trying to learn how to cook so I don't have to use the Hadron Collider. Do you like to cook?
Yeah.
Do you like to cook with bay leaves? Have you cooked with a bay leaf?
Absolutely.
Stop it. I'm learning to cook at the moment. There's every recipe. Use a bay leaf. Use a bay leaf. What? I've never eaten a dish and gone, excuse me, garçon. Can you make this taste more or less bay leafy? The only time I know that I've eaten a dish which has been cooked using a bay leaf is because I'm regurgitating it out of my mouth whole, like an owl. Because presumably if you swallow it, it will rupture your bum hole. I think We like different stuff, me and these boys, and that's confusing, you know, because like, well, you know, what I like. Well, I mean, do you like football?
No.
It's okay. Do you like football?
Sorry.
Do you like football?
I love it.
can tell you're lying. Do you like football? All the white dungarees. Yeah, that makes sense. How about you? Do you like football? Do you like football? Great. I don't like football. I wish I liked football, man. It looks like one of the best things to like. I've got a mate, he loves it, right? Obsessed with it. I've seen a video of him celebrating when England won a big game. He's like, yes, get in! I can't believe it, they've won the game! Also seen a video of that same guy the first day that his child was born, like... This is a good day. I'm happy. At least this one is coming home. You know, people are... Especially guys who are always trying to use football to connect with me, and I'm letting them down all the time, you know? I was in a cab, taxi driver cab, beep, beep. I'll go back. I got my hair cut the other day. How far should I go back? I'm not sure. Climb into my mother, too far. That's the end of the night! No, I was in a taxi, right? And the guy in there, he's talking about football. He's like, have you seen the game? And I know he's not talking lacrosse. So I say, oh yeah, what a shambles. Big mistake. I've switched him now into the mode of football chat. He's getting all animated. Beautiful game, premiership positions, goals. I'm in the back nodding along like a tit. You know, have you ever been on holiday and you speak just a tiny little bit of GCSE French? You say that and before you know it, you're on the wrong side of a chat with a Parisian cobbler. I was Je m'appelle fucked. I had to come clean to him. I was like, mate, I don't love football, you know? For me, the beautiful game is Uno. The simplicity, the colours. I think that if man chat was a toolkit, and that toolkit was a Swiss Army knife. Football is the knife. The most used all the time in every scenario. What have I got to try and connect with the taxi driver? Talking about stand-up comedy, what's that in the Swiss Army knife? It's the nail file. Totally pointless, only used in one scenario. Or I will say, though, that it's my favourite bit of the Swiss Army knife to me because, you know, the nail file seems like a guy's been inventing it his entire life. He's neglected his marriage. The whole thing is crumbling down, and at the final moment, he adds it on to appease the whole broken thing. One day his wife's like, Klaus! Won't you come back to bed? You've been working on that Swiss Army knife for years now. If you think this accent's bad, just be glad it's not a Ugandan army knife. Helga, you have to understand, I love the Swiss Army knife, and so do the Swiss Army, which is weird they've commissioned a weapon even though they've never been to war. Maybe I can add on a little collection of chamomile teas or some little white flags. Klaus, you are obsessed. Sometimes I think you love that Swiss Army knife more than you love me. She storms off to bed and Klaus is absolutely gutted. He's racking his brains and he's like, I have it. A nail file. I will add for her a nail file, which I imagine if we looked at this at some point in the future, gender parity-wise, it may seem quite regressive. But alas, this is whatever year I am in. And he sketches it on and he runs it up and shows it to her and she's like, Klaus, I love it. I want you to fuck me. Fuck me with all the passion and vigour of a Lindt master chocolatier. In my favourite position, standing, neutral. Anyway, I said all that to the taxi driver. Even in London, when you move here, it's confusing, isn't it? Because, like, you know, you get here. I mean, I've, like, reinvented myself here, and, you know, I was struggling with fashion quite a lot of the time. Like, you know what I mean? It's it's a struggle, man. You know, when I got here, I felt like I was getting it wrong. All the time. Open-toe sandals, a little trilby, a brown leather jacket with a hood. The guy in the shop said, you'd look good in that. Oh, so I bought the gilet. Then I went on a date. She said, do you work in a zoo? I try not to look like a dickhead, but I find that I pick out the wrong threads. A small dog that thinks it's a Great Dane. I need to know my lane. I'm not Timothy Chalamet. We all make mistakes with the things that we wear, like a red roll-up tap on our head. But that's fine. We gotta try and look good and feel good, even if sometimes we look a dick. Take me right now, for example. Do you like me in my cool shades now? How about me in my cool shades now? Do you like me in my cool shades now? Because what matters is beneath, especially if it's a cooler pair of sunglasses. Yeah. Fashion is hard, is my point. You know, it's an integral part of reinvention, you know. I've been reinventing myself my whole life. Every time I get into a problem, I started when I was at school. I didn't go to a particularly good school. I say school, it was more a hospice for our dying hopes and dreams. These sort of places. You know, there was a lot of bad stuff going on there. There was a lot of violence, a lot of drugs. There was heroin in my school. And the school was odd in a lot of ways. Sports day, incredibly odd. You had kids running around holding eggs. They'd confiscated all the spoons. And there was a gang in my school called the Bong Squad. They liked bongs. And it was a sort of, you know, these guys, they were involved with county lines, right? That's like kids who are used as a network to move drugs all around the UK. And these guys, they're sort of kids pretending they're adults. You know, it's a bit like Bugsy Malone, right? Except all the cream pies in their gang result in teen pregnancies. Oh, are you scared of a bit of life? I'm sorry. If this isn't clear, by the way, this is a state school I'm talking about, you know. Any people are in from international, further afield, you know. But there's two types of schools in the UK. We've got state school and we've got private school. Send your kid to those. They both come with risks. Send your kid to a state school, you run the risk, they might become a bit of a dickhead. Send your kid to a private school, you run the risk, they might become a little twat. And that, I think, is the class system in the UK. You got dickheads versus twats. Right? Look, and so my dad, he's a dickhead. His dad before him, a massive dickhead. Dad before, one of the biggest dickheads you've ever seen. And like now, you know, I'm nowhere near as much as a dickhead, and maybe one day I'll do well enough in life where I'll have a kid and they might become a massive little twat. Don't get me wrong, I like twats. You know, I've got mates who are twats. They've taught me stuff about the world. Like, did you know that you can get wine? You can get wine! You can get that wine, you pour it into a big jug. For some reason. And you've got an empty bottle of wine, you stick a candle in that attracts more twats. They bring more wine. There's a big party at the end, and then for some reason you end up on the board of some guy's dad's oil firm. With the gang, I was scared of the gang, you know, they're very violent people, and so I tried to protect myself. I learned karate. I was a little 12, 13-year-old boy, and it doesn't work if you are pathetic. It's just learning how to dance in an incredibly shit way. All that it taught me was to get beaten up and at the end go like a polite little boy. The school, though, they once put on this career event, right, to help us. You know, it was a bit misplaced. You know, they put on this career event, and you could do 3 subjects at this thing. And I remember at the time, my teacher, she said to me, "Adam, what are your choices?" Just a small note, I've changed her accent to protect her identity. Honest to God, these are the 3 choices that Mrs. allowed me to do. Chinese, line dancing, and falconry. What? You see them come in like, oh yeah, that's the holy trinity of employability. Can't wait to see what he does with those in 15 years' time. Woolley Ching Bao. My boots scooting, baby, is driving. My obsession for a western. Come on, Kez, man. Downward, head to toe. Wanna make you mine, wanna get in line. Woolley Ching Bao. it did come in handy. You know, amongst all this chaos, I tried to protect myself, right? I decided I was going to become an entrepreneur, which is French for entrepreneur. Did you ever have a kid in school with a big bag and they'd fill it up with things like multi-packs of sweets and cans of Coke and stuff like that and sell it individually for a profit? Right? I ended up doing that, right? But with drugs. I ended up joining the gang, oh no, and you know, it was weed that I was selling, and it's pretty cool. And no, it's bad. It's good. No, you know, it's bad. You shouldn't, don't, but do if I was selling it at the end. No, you know, I got pulled into it, and it's a mad one, you know. People are like, how did that end up happening, right? And there was a guy who was quite a lot older than me, right? He came to me, and he said to me,
"Look, Adam, you were buying quite a lot of weed for you and your little friends."
By the way, I've changed his accent, not to protect his identity, just to make him sound stupid. His real name is Ben Woodhouse.
"Adam, you're buying this weed, so I'm going to give you an ounce at the start of the week. You'll be able to chop that into eighths, and you need to give me back 50 quid, and you'll be able to have 30 quid to either keep or smoke as profit."
And I remember looking at him and going,
"Wow. I'm a 13-year-old boy. And quite honestly, that is the best maths lesson I have ever had. I'm Ben Woodhouse, Shady Grove, Stoke-on-Trent, ST7 2RW. For somebody who's missing teeth and quite clearly on heroin, I can't believe you have my best interests at heart."
and let me tell you, dragons, I took the deal. Yes to Deborah Whedon. Yeah. My profits were low, but I was high. A lot of the time. It came to a head, really, when I got pulled into the office of the head teacher, right? He sat me down and he was like, "Look, we've heard that you've been selling drugs." And I was quite clever about the whole thing. I was like... He pushed on, he's like, "Look, we've heard that you've been selling drugs. Everything will be okay if you've done it." And I was like, "No way, Jose." Well, that's not his name. He's... Mr. David Black is his name. No name goes unshamed. Have we not learned anything from Baby Reindeer? He said, "Look, if you tell us the truth, everything will be okay." And I said, "All right, fine. I have been selling drugs." And he said, "You are expelled." Yeah. What sort of lesson is that to teach a little boy, you know? It's not always worth telling the truth. I've learned that growing up. I'll give you 2 times recently where it hasn't been worth telling the truth for me. I was on this date, and the girl said, "Tell me like a fun, embarrassing story so we can connect." I was like, "Yeah, got it." I was in a club, very drunk, and I went to the toilet, and I forgot to lift the toilet lid up, and I did a poo. End of the date. I'll give you the second time where it wasn't worth telling the truth. I was once doing this gig, and I told the audience about shitting on a toilet lid. And that was you 20 seconds ago. I should say, by the way, that, you know, I don't really do drugs anymore. I tried to quit smoking. My mate recommended hypnotherapy, you know, and I was skeptical because I'm not a medieval peasant. I might have the haircut of one, but I went along though, right? When I got there, it worked. Can you believe it? Hypnotherapy, it worked. I mean, for me, the only side effect was, I don't know, maybe like 100% increase in a desire to suck off hypnotists. You've got to do something with your mouth. Before I was smoking big Cuban cigars. Now I'm smoking tiny German micro penises. Feeling a lot better in myself, that's for sure. It was mad. I had to go to a new school, and my parents were amazing in it. You know, I didn't know I had supportive parents, mainly because they're from Liverpool and they have a Scouse accent, and I'd never met any other Scousers, so I just thought my parents hated me. I've not got that same paternal pull when it's like, "I'm fucking proud of ya!" Well, then sound like it, Daddy. He'd always say this thing to me growing up, "Hey, soft lad, you gotta stand up for yourself, soft lad." That's what they say when you're a bit of an idiot there. Although the tables have turned, I saw him not long ago and I found in his bathroom his Viagra. I'm not even sure if he was speaking to me. And if he was, don't throw stones if you live in a wobbly bouncy castle. Soft lad. And it was a mad one, you know. I had to go to this new school. I felt like I'd left myself down, my family down, and I didn't know where to turn. Lost, Mom, I let you down. Yeah, I was scared, I didn't know who I was anymore. Trapped between two selves, felt like I'm stuck in a nightmare. Mum, you knew I was struggling, so you let me go to Leeds Festival at 13, which was a massive mistake on your part. When I got there, I took magic mushrooms, thought it would be fun, but it was more like if you're a small boy and having a crisis of self, you're inner child. When a small boy is an even smaller boy. It was fun at first, then it led to panic. I ran into the crowd and gave a stranger my wallet, and I screamed in the face of the young girl, I think I'm dying. My friend interrupted, said he's fine, he was lying. Lost, yeah, I let myself down. Oh, yeah, I was scared, I didn't know who I was anymore, and I felt I had massive hands. All the trees, they look like warlocks waiting to kill me for my previous sins. But then we went and watched the Libertines. I had a bit of ketamine, and then I felt totally fine. I love a festival, man. They're amazing. Especially when you're a kid, you go, they blow your mind the first time, you know? You see these bands that you know you're gonna love for the rest of your life, like Lost Prophets. And it's incredible, you know? You see these people you've never seen before, they look like they're making a sandwich, but it turns out they're DJs. I didn't know you could do that with your life and waste it like that. Yeah. And, you know, and at that time I thought, like, God, you know, I'm going to reinvent myself, you know, I can get away from this problem. I saw these indie bands and I thought, I'm going to have a go at being in an indie band. So I did, and if you're wondering how successful the band was, give you a little clue, I'm here doing this. We did all right, you know, we toured all around the UK, we were on Radio 1 a bit, we played with some pretty cool bands, you know, Block Party? Yeah, we went on tour with their tour support. International tour, England, Wales. Back to England. It was Wrexham, I'll never forget Wrexham. Someone's having a vape. I shouldn't be able to hear that. I used to think we'd be a big deal, right? You know, have like, I don't know, people singing our lyrics back to us, but I'm not really sure if we had it in us. I'm going to play you some of our original demos, right? These are real, and the drummer, he digged these out for me. He's doing very well now. You know the band Muse? Yeah, he just did one of their Loft conversions. And it is simply stunning. You tell me if these feel like big indie bangers to you. If you didn't quite catch the lyric there, it's hot curry. That's me on the bass, and as you can imagine, I was called Hot Curry for a long time. And the name of this song... Abdominal Crisis, a song about shitting yourself. How is that not one of the biggest indie bands? Is that my... Give up on your dreams. You can reheat anything in your life. Yeah, man. You might be able to tell from the musical stance we ended up splitting up because, you know, of musical differences between us and people with ears. And at that point I was like, right, I failed, I'm going to reinvent myself again. And that's when I came to London, and when I came to London I thought, I'm going to reinvent myself into a tech startup guy. You know, these guys, people would say to me, oh, you know, Adam, isn't that just like a normal office job that used perks to trick infantilized millennials? to work there and work for a corporate that they don't really want to work for. And I would say, how dare you? And I would skateboard away from that conversation. I would go to work and go down the office slide to get over it. I don't think it is a normal job, you know? It's not a normal office job. Would a normal office job get rid of some of the chairs and replace them with bean bags? Would a normal office job give you shares in a company that's worth nothing? And it's just started. How exciting is that? Well, you know, it's owned by 3 companies that between them are 500 years old and with billions of pounds in it, but it's got a fun name that's spelled all weird. You know, and you get perks in this place. My God, perks coming out of my arse. You know, well, you know, you don't get a pension, but every day, free Coke Zero. I'd much rather have a fizzy drink now than exist when I'm old. What I like about these companies, they've got values. You know, I've got rid of my values, I don't need them anymore. They've got values, they just tell us how to live. You look at them, oh, I'll do that. Change their logo with Pride Month. They really care about that. See them rocking up around June? Hello, it's us. Lloyd's the bank. We've turned our horse into a gay horse. So come get a big gay overdraft. Want to try one of our non-binary ISAs? We got you financially covered from tops to bottoms. One thing that, you know, is similar to an office job and a tech startup job is the boss, you know, and it may be controversial to say, but bosses are rubbish. I mean that, you know. I don't like how you can't really be yourself with a boss, do you know what I mean? You come in after a weekend, you can't tell them what you've been really doing. Your boss is like, oh, what were you up to on the weekend? You're remembering yourself. Just a chilled one. You don't know what your boss is like either though, right? You say to them, what were you doing on the weekend? They're remembering themselves. Just a brunch. With the girlies. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people who get worried about stuff in jobs, you know, especially the job interview. I'm really good at job interviews. If anyone's got one coming up, I've got a big tip for you. Lie. You're gonna lie when you get the job, lie before. I was trying to work in this bar, right, and the bar manager was like, do you have any bar experience? You got any bar experience? No, I didn't, but I knew the answer to the question. Yeah. It's like, great, can you make cocktails? I was like, does a bear shit in the woods? He was like, well, that's one of our signature cocktails. I'm working, I started working there. I had no idea what I was doing. I just try and make it up like a cool, sexy bartender. Do you know how hard it is to look good doing that bit? Two girls come in, I'm trying to flirt with them, they're like, oh, could we, barman, please get 2 Bloody Marys? I'm like, yeah, sure. What in? Tomato sauce, peanuts, Baileys. I don't really call myself a barman. I prefer mixologist. Quickest way to become an ologist, actually. Most of the rooms for what, 4 or 5 years gynecology? For me, just put a waistcoat on and off you go. Can I get your number, please? What, for a stroke prevention hotline? She has the cocktail, she's allergic to peanuts, she starts choking, the manager comes in, do you have any first aid experience? I didn't, but I knew the answer to the question. Yeah. Stand back, I know the Hyman manoeuvre. Turns out I am a gynecologist. Turns out to save a life, sometimes you must lose your job at Las Iguanas. I still love a job though. I mean, anyone in here love their job? Yeah? Who loves their job? Okay. Waxing lyrical. How about you? How about anyone down here who I can see? Not a fucking coward. How about you in the booth? Any?
I'm a photographer.
Well, I've seen, yeah, you've been taking a few pictures of me, which I did not consent for. You might have seen, we've got a couple set up. It's nice, man. It's hard to love a job. I think the only person I think I've ever seen truly love a job is a train conductor when they're doing the train announcements. When those guys are on the mic, they are on the hype. You ever hear them like, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on board the 12:15 train to Liverpool Lime Street. If, like me, you have a sweet tooth, you will be finding the sensational refreshment stand manager, Shania. And if, like me, you have IBS, you will be finding toilets or all things being well and good, and no acts of God, we shall be arriving into the home of George, Ringo, Paul, and Jonathan at 8:55 British summertime, which is quite hard to believe from today's weather. Drum and bass shall never die. Yeah, I've been working in that office for a little while now. Office. Well, I say working, I've just sort of been pretending to work there. Quite easy to do that when they give you the resources in an office, do you know what I mean? You just sit there. That's me in the toilet, not... I refuse to use a Dyson Airblade. I refuse! I'm basically in an office, you know, I waste my time, like, you know, listening to things that I like, you know, I'm just not doing anything. I like to relax in an office. I like to listen to ASMR, right? But now I'm in the office watching them. I hate watching them online, the ASMR videos, because of YouTube, you know? You're just chilling out, and out of nowhere, poof, an advert ruins the whole thing. You are listening to the French Whisperer. You should be feeling incredibly relaxed as we compile a list for a shop at the big Tesco. We will head down the Province aisle, where we will of course be adding. Hello, I'm Dwight Chuffley, and this is my new podcast, Brosified. Join me every week where I'll be talking cryptocurrencies, cars going vroom vroom, and how to groom women consensually. Because I've learned my lesson. We will be adding pickles to the list. I'm giving out about this office I've been working in, you know, something happened to me there that made me feel incredibly weird. Like, I was able to buy a flat in London, and no, I'm not boasting about it, you know, I'm not here with my keys. You know when you see a couple on Instagram, they just bought a flat. Hey couples, I only want to see your keys if they're in a bowl at an orgy. No, I bought this flat and it just made me feel incredibly weird, right? Because I never thought I'd be able to do that in London, you know, growing up where I did, with the things that happened to me, it just seemed like it was out of the question. And then working at this startup with all of this made-up venture capitalist money in there, I was able to. And now I'm on the property ladder looking down at my friends who I know are never going to be able to get on the property ladder because of how the world is. And now I just have this massive amount of guilt. And look, I know this bit isn't massively funny, but some of it has to be therapy for me. I don't know what I should do. Should I give it all away, get a van, drive around, live in a nomadic lifestyle like that film that I saw? Scooby-Doo? And I don't own the thing, right? Because it's not a thing called a freehold, which means you own the thing. It's a thing called a leasehold, which means I don't own the floor, I don't own the ceiling, I don't own the walls. All that I own is a piece of paper which says that I can live there for a long time. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't that rent? I've bought rent! And it feels like you're buying like 1,000 problems. Not long after I moved in, right, I blocked the toilet with my poo. Now, when you do that, you have to sort it out. I called this guy, he came round, he's fucking massive. All right, I'm the poo man. Hello, poo man. You know that thing with a tradesperson where you want to seem like you know what you're talking about? That is very hard to do when your own poo is involved. He's like, all right then, where's this poo? It's in here, poo man, in my poo room. He says it's going to be 50 quid. He goes in, oh, actually, that's quite a big poo. That's going to be 80 quid. Okay, poo man. Whatever you say. He ends up having to go to the van. He comes back with another guy. They start referring to the whole thing as a project. Project! He ends up charging me £400, which is more than this machine. Moral of the story is have a good diet. Cut down on the old... So when I was feeling like that about the flat, I just thought, you know, I don't agree with this. I don't agree with the tech startup thing that I'm doing, so you know what, maybe I shouldn't be doing that. And I thought, well, I've been starting stand-up, so maybe I'll just fuck it all off. And I thought, yeah, I will. And so I stopped doing my day job, and that is why they fired me. They hate it when you just do ASMR, that's what I found out. Although, actually, the way they put it, very nice. They let me go. Very lovely. Oh, Adam, we're letting you go. Could you let me stay? No, I think we're gonna let you go. Thanks for letting me. Let me be let. So I'd failed again, and I was just like, right, well, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna just keep reinventing myself again and again. If you ever change yourself so much, you don't recognize who you are anymore. You don't recognize what you're doing with your life, how you look, how you sound. I was feeling like a list of failed chapters, failed startup guy, failed indie guy, failed young drug dealer of the year. And I knew I had to change something inside. By the way, my therapist said, did you know, Adam, every time you try and open up about how you really feel, you put on this weird voice to distance yourself from your true emotions. I said, you want to see the end of my show? She said, am I going to be in it? I said, of course not. Liz Mallard. I decided I was going to go back to Stoke-on-Trent for a bit, you know, because there are some things in life that are too important and difficult to throw away, like a goo ramekin when you finish the goo pudding. I can't bring myself to throw them away. I've got 13 of the things. What, am I going to make 13 creme brulees? I can't even make one. When I was back in Stoke, I saw my old school, and I thought of my teacher who said to me that time,
Adam, what are your choices?
And I thought, what would she say to me now?
Adam, it's me. Mrs. Cornwall. Look, we all get lost from time to time, that's normal. You know, your friends who say that you're no longer a Clayhead, maybe you are, maybe we all are. Because clay can be shaped and reshaped to create a vessel to fill with whatever you choose, whether it's being a bootleg photographer at a show, or a disgusting ketchup cocktail. Adam, maybe that's what this show has been all about, trying to reconcile all the past reinventions, all the past echoes of your former selves. Sounds like music, reality altering drugs, and technology. Oh yes, Adam, that isn't just a toy device, that is a literary device. I'm the best teacher ever. I don't even teach English, I teach PE. So Adam, you are a Clayhead. A Clayhead remolded. So I remember thinking all that. All the stuff about constantly reinventing myself, all the stuff about drugs, music and the technology, and I thought, yeah, I know what I need to do now. I'm gonna become a DJ. Yes, everyone, look, that's the end of the show. But before I go, I've been telling you all about my life, and it's all true. But some of the things I've exaggerated. So before I go, I'm gonna settle the score. Ooh, let me be real with you. I didn't get this haircut last week. I got it every single month for 2 years, just for the joke. I want you to be real with me too. You don't need
someone off next to you. But if you're not, oh, good for you. Yeah, I wanna be real with you. I don't think train announcers love their job, of course. And I fuck with Baileys all the time. Oh, yeah, and I don't live with my old friends anymore. I live with a girl that I love very much. And if I'm being real and coming clean, fuck it, let's cut this auto-tune machine, yeah. Let me be real with you, 'cause that's what people want. They want true, authentic expression. And it doesn't matter if it's shit. Let's be real with each other and tell ourselves all our truths, even if it makes us want to be sick and die. Thank you very much, everybody. I've been Adam Flood. Good night.
Got it.